Okay, so today we got this 65-inch hair TV. Actually, the model is a 65UGX3500c. Okay, I got it plugged in. I think it's on. The light started flashing and now it's off. And we have a totally black screen. It's on the screen at all. Here's the power button. And I'll put my flashlight up to it. Press the button again. That's all it's doing. It's just flashing, blinking red every few seconds or 30 seconds or whatever. And I don't see anything on the screen. I see something there. It looks like, yep, I sure do. I see a no signal message pop up on the TV. Okay. So in the case we have some type of backlight problem. Okay, so here's our toggle button right here for the power. And we got a screw here, some screws on the side, and there are also some screws up underneath here into the back cover. You can see right here, all the way down. So we'll take those out, remove the back cover. As we remove this thing on the power cord, there's also another screw right here holding the power cord into the support. Take that off. Pull that off like that. Okay, and then comes right out. Just remember how that goes. Goes in here and it goes like that. Okay, so good enough. Okay, we actually have 4 screws over here on this side. It's one here, which you can't see. 2, 3, 4, and those are actually number 1 Phillips. And there's nothing connected to the back cover. Excellent. Power supply board, which is a pretty nice size. Our T-Con or timing control board, and then we have our main board, speakers, right and left. We have our toggle switch circuit board. Okay, and that's pretty much about it. Okay, obviously this here is our LED plug, so we'll just check. As you can see, we have red and black, 2 lines, and let's just check that with our LED tester. So we'll put a red on red, black on black with our first line. As you can see, it goes up to 101 volts, 93 milliamps. Okay, let's try the line next to it. Nothing. That line is open. Okay, so we need to take this bad baby apart to get to our LEDs, obviously. So first thing I'm gonna do is remove these speakers, which will actually fall right off once I turn the TV around. So let's get rid of that for right now. And it is going to the main board. So what I'm gonna have to do is just going through here, obviously. Take this out. Get that wire free. Put those in for right now. Do not leave those off because we put the TV around on its back. You won't have any support. And then this speaker, this wire here, pull that out. Like so. Put the screw back in. And these will come right off our speakers. Okay, I'm going to disconnect my driver boards for my T-Con board. All right, disconnect these two right here. Okay. Okay, we want to free our driver boards, but it looks like these supports for our feet are in the way. There's one here and there's one on the other end down here. So let's remove those. And I did mark it, so I won't forget to put it back. Comes right out, easy peasy. Do the other one on the other side. And one thing too I did notice is that once the screws out of the bottom of the back cover to get the back cover off, there are still some screws in like every other slice. I got it marked, there's some screws. And you don't want to get those mixed up when you put it back together, so I just marked the ones that are left over. Like this one here. Here's another one right here. That way I know to put those back on before I put it on my back cover, right? For extra support for the bottom. And then I'm gonna see if I can free up my driver boards. They are sort of like taped. Just pull up these clips right here, remove the tape. So I grind the tape, make sure it goes on exactly as you took it off and not further down or over any components. That tape is conductive, as you can see, looks like copper. All right, and we'll just take these clips out, such and such and such. They come out right out. Same with the other board on the other side. Okay, so the rubber boards are free. So we're just getting prepared to take our screen off. But for right now, before I'm gonna flip it around, I'm just kind of push it back just a little bit so I won't get it snagged or anything while I'm flipping the TV over, because now we're going to have to pry off the outer bezel. So there's no screws around the outer bezel, just flip it over and get up under there and pry it up. I usually start from the middle right here and just put my pry tube under there and just go down until I feel, there we go, coming up. Being careful not to overly bend it or force it up, because that's what happens is you're going to put too much pressure on the screen and you're going to crack it. But just take your time. Yeah, if it gets stuck at the corners, don't worry about it, don't force it up. Just start right here at the middle. Because once this side gets loose, it's going to be easier for the corner to come loose. Because I have the top part loose already. Here we go. Voila. That easy. I'm going to take my driver boards to the screen. Alright, time to remove the screen. People are always asking me about the suction cups and won't the screen fall off. That's happened to me twice, and the only time that happened was because I had somebody else helping me and they didn't know how to put the suction cups on, and they was holding the other side, and it was, you know, one guy let go of the suction cups. But anyway, I don't have any problems with the suction cups as long as they stick. So what you want to do is just separate the screen in half on the big screen like this. Put the suction cup center mask on one half, pretty much. So I'm going to push it down. I'm going to squeeze it real hard. I'm going to shake it. Okay, if it sticks, then you're good. Center mask on this side. I'm going to push it down a little pressure, a little bit. Squeeze it. And that's it. Let's see how easy this comes off. Voila. No problems. Just make sure that the handles are both squeezed tightly. All right. Those little circles that may be in the screen after you release the suction cups, put the screen back on. Those circles are not permanent. They're just a mark from whatever's inside the screen from you sucking it up. All right. And you will notice a day later they'll be gone. Pretty much. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to have to pull this outer bezel off. I'm sorry, not outer bezel, but the diffuser screen. It's our diffuser screen, and there's some brackets holding it down. And so as you see, it is overlapping right here. Right, the top piece is overlapping the bottom piece. And can I use my fingernails on this? Let me see. Pretty much. Yeah, so that's overlapping. So the top and bottom piece come out first. You can see that or not, but I got that mark right there at the corner, and I also have the diffuser screen marked in blue also. Okay, so I know which way those go back on. So I know that this is the bottom piece, and that's the corner that goes there, and that way you won't be confused because the sides, the two side pieces may be the same, left or right. Okay, but the bottom and the top pieces are most likely not exact. But we just go down. Use our fingernails. We got long fingernails. If not, just use a small flathead screwdriver. Take the top and you got some tape on here also, which also may be taped to the screen. So before you pull the screen out, make sure there's no tape holding the screen down also. Now another thing I want to note is when you're putting this back together, make sure that all these clips are pushed in all the way, every clip. Make sure no part is sticking up like that or anything. When you put it down, make sure it's not crooked. Just take your finger or a card and just make sure it's all smooth. There's no space in between the diffuser screen and these brackets, because if it is, what's going to happen, or what may happen when you put the screen on, if the screen is sitting on an even edge, we will snap back the outer bezel on it. You're going to crack the screen. Now for the diffuser screen, all right, there's always a very thick diffuser screen at the bottom, okay, and as this one we have 1, 2, 3 more screens at the top, and there are also some little grooves right here. When we put the top 3 screens back on, they go into these grooves, okay, and so when you put this on, just make sure that this screen is perfectly centered as it can be up under there. They do have some notches right here also, okay, as you can see that right there, and that also goes behind the groove, so that's good. Please make sure that you keep these all together. Do not take them off one at a time and separate, because they have to go on exactly the same way they came off, facing the same way, each screen. Because the one is reversed, if you mix them up or whatever, then the picture is going to be out of focus. All right, you're going to have a hard time trying to figure out which one is which one goes back. But what you can do, if you're going to lay it against the wall and there's a floor underneath, a smooth floor, they're going to slide apart from each other. All right, but I lay mine up against a couch, like the back of a couch, sitting straight up, or you can lay it on a flat surface, like you got another clean table like this with a cloth on it. That's fine. But be on the safe side, I always put some kind of apart. We put some tape on there on one side so they won't slide apart. All right. So that's always good. And I know this goes down here. I've also marked this in blue, the chassis in blue, and I marked this in blue so I know it goes on that way. See how easy they start sliding apart? Okay, so I'm gonna grab them all at one time, okay, and then take them off. 20 screws, and I'm probably screwed into each LED strip right here, going all the way across. And those are like number 1 screws. Okay, so when taking this paper off, be extra careful that you try not to rip it. Take your time, look up under there, see what's sticking. I've already ripped the piece right here, but you don't want a big rip where you can actually see up under the teeth, up under here, see the metal, because that is actually going to show through the screen into your picture, all right, as like a little dark shadow. So we're going to pull slowly. There's tape all along this edge here. Just take your time. Okay, so that's one there. Especially where these daggone screen specters are at. That's it. Try not to wrinkle the paper up too much, because what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing circles in the screen if the paper is sticking up, is wrinkled or sticking up too much around the side of one of these LED lights. All right, especially with this kind of light they use right here. But let's go ahead. I'm going to place this in front of my diffuser screens, so I won't forget. And there's some test points on each strip right there where it says plus and minus. So you just put your lead, your positive lead on your LED tester on plus and the black lead on minus at 17 volts, and we're at 105 milliamps. Okay. So this is obviously our bad strip right here. And I did check the rest of them, and they are all, what happened? Yeah, they are all good. Reading at 17 volts, okay? Okay, so I got all brand new strips. These old strips are kind of like glued, as you can see right here, with some type of glue or epoxy stuff to make sure the metal is touching the metal, and I guess the metal chassis is absorbing some of the heat from the back of the strip, kind of like a heat sink. But so I can line the two holes up. Okay, that's where the screw goes. This actually is sticking pretty good now. I'm just gonna make sure I'm just gonna tape it right here at the end, very end, and make sure that doesn't go anywhere. Plug it back in. My backlight's back into my power supply board. My backlight plug. I'm gonna hit the power button. Goes off, and 1, 2, 3. There we go. Finally, we have backlights. Just do the rest of the strips the same way. Alright guys, the ultimate test of time. Still the red light at the bottom. Turn it off. Wait for it, wait for it. Voila. There we go. Another TV saved from the alley. Alright guys, well that's it. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And also shout out to my man Nick on Nick's TV. Make sure you check out his channel. He's also part of the art of servicing and repairing modern televisions. Until then guys, I will see you in the next one. Big Dog out.